What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast. My name is Hannibal. I'm always on time, and I'm with my homeboy Pedro, who is always late.
What up, man?
I'm sorry. I got to get my SHIT together. Sometimes I am running around too much, but appreciate Pedro for his patience. You are a very patient person, Pedro. You may not think you are. You are more patient than I am, and you may not believe that you are more patient than I am.
I don't know about that, but I'm good, man. It's Monday. Bears lost, fantasy football team losing. So I'm kind of, not feeling great about that, but I'm feeling great about life. So that's what I would say to that. So
listen, we can talk all day about the 4-1 New York Football Giants. We could talk about one of the biggest surprises in the NFL. We can do all of that. We can throw it in your big face that you thought that the Bears are going to win more games than the Giants. We can do all that, but we won't.
I mean, is the season over? Did I miss something? Did the Giants win a Super Bowl already? Are they in the playoffs?
The coach of year is already, he's already Harbaugh, Darbaugh, whatever.
Brian Doorbell. He's from the Bills. He was the Bills offensive coordinator last year, I think, right?
Doing good things, but I won't do that. And shout out to everyone in the chat.
Yes, shout out. Let me get some shout outs. Qualia in the house. We got Garden State, Matt, Cliff Dog. I see Steve right here. Rodeo, my boy Hector. Sorry about your Mets, bro. Maybe next year. And
I feel bad about that.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that was rough. That was a collapse.
100 games for nothing.
For nada.
Why am I laughing? I don't know. Mets just have this. It's like the redheaded stepchild kind of thing. Like no matter how things go, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
They'll be okay next year. I mean, it happens, man. They didn't have the bats. Hector knows it. It's fine. Hector's okay. He'll be all right.
And the Jets seem to figure things out. So I don't know what's going on. This is a very interesting.
It's a weird
season.
year, man. Like I feel like there's been a lot of games very close. A lot of games going into fourth quarter. They're meaningful games, not too many blowouts overall.
That's true,
so I think that makes for good television. So
and you getting love.
We finally got it. We
appreciate that. Pedro wanted to make sure he got that correctly.
Yes.
Really appreciate that. Before we get into the heavy sports stuff, because we have a few things we want to talk about. Draymond and the Jordan Poole situation, how that kind of went down. This basically future that I am not able to pronounce his last name correctly, but I'm sure you guys already seen some of his highlights. But before we kind of jump into the more sports heavy stuff, I want to talk about this short I did a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. I showed this screenshot to Pedro a while ago. I'm like, can you believe this? I asked my own wife, when I'm married to, which makes sense because she's my wife. I showed her this question because the screenshot was this question. Would you rather be with a man who had this or this? And I shit you not, I'm not cursing. I shit you not, Pedro. She answered in 2 seconds. Not even a second. This.
Oh, was that quick? She didn't even think about
it. Very quick. And that's not the only one that has. I've shown it to a few female friends and similar answers. Or they tried to say it's a nuanced thing. But let me just put it up because I'm sure you guys already checked this out.
Yeah, I would like to hear the chat's opinion on that.
Yeah. So this person said, I'd rather have a man have a felony, or rather a man have a felony than a baby mama. And this blew me away. You'd rather be with a man that had a felony. That's how serious dealing with, I guess we call it blended families or
baby mama drama. People don't like the baby mama drama.
People don't like the baby, and they rather have a man that had a situation. And didn't even say, okay, what kind of felony? I mean, some did say that. I actually could put up some of the comments from that video.
Don't you think that matters? I think that matters. I think that also matters how long ago was it. If they're not if they're not in prison, but they were a felony, maybe they've had some bad choices in the past. But that doesn't mean necessarily drama right now. If that person, is doing better. But if you got a baby mama, you probably got some drama, right? So,
but you see how that.
I know what I did. Yeah, I'm assuming.
Like you assume, like, okay, the baby mama thing could be, and it's such a negative connotation, that word baby mama, but
it is.
That's just the way we illustrate it, I guess, right? That there are some really positive, healthy co-parenting situations. It's just don't seem like it's a lot. It's like many
What
aren't.
I don't, and I would even go a step further to say, let's say you take the baby mama word out, right? And the different like ex-wife, right? It's like some,
Yeah.
some women don't want to be with a dude that's maybe got an ex-wife. Maybe the ex-wife's a little crazy, or there's some things going on there. So I think with some women, and the women in the chat, you guys tell me if I'm wrong. It's like, and even with men, it goes both ways. Like we don't want maybe a certain kind of girl that's got a certain kind of baby daddy that maybe he's a felon or there's some drama there. So we'd rather deal with the person one on one that we're in the relationship with, because you could vibe with them, but it's always the outliers that cause more trouble sometimes in relationships. So I
Yeah.
wasn't that surprised by that reaction that your wife had, because I think it's like, okay, well, Hannibal's a felon, but he did something years ago when he was young, which I know he's not. He's an
True.
upstanding citizen.
Yeah,
Then
I'm
it's
a
like it
big
doesn't even
data
matter,
nerd. I have never
currently.
been in trouble with the law. I know you can look at me and hear me how am I speaking. You're like, yeah, he's never been in trouble, so you don't have to worry about that. But the one we already have one comment of what she rather pick. Quilaya said baby mama, which is
Okay.
interesting because most of my friends said no. So some of the comments I saw coming from that short, one said depends on the felony.
Yes. Yeah.
Another Megan said, I think it depends on what kind of baby mama was the situation. So that's a more of a nuance or what kind of felony. So that you need more information. But it's not
Yeah.
really fun if everything is nuanced, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, water puppy, felony.
Felony.
Someone exotic strawberry, felony definitely.
Damn.
Felony definitely.
Damn.
I'd rather have a man with a felony. No baby mama drama over here. Someone said neither, which probably, okay, ideal.
Yeah,
Baby
but I
mama,
mean,
felony.
yeah.
There's more felony votes in this little thing here
Yeah.
than baby.
Well, see, I never called my oldest daughter's mother my baby mama. She was the mother of my child. That's number one. But I don't have a felony, so I guess my girl, my lady, she knows I got it's like she's okay with it, but that's so years it's separated. My daughter's 21,
Yeah.
so
I
but
think
yeah.
if you say that's my ex-wife, you can say that, and it's not really you wouldn't say baby mama, but I think that term is used if you weren't married. Even if it's a long-term relationship, it could be 10, 15 years, but if you weren't married, then that's why I think that word gets thrown around a lot. The
You
baby
think
mama.
it's a cultural thing, right? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see a lot of white people be like, "Oh, that's my baby mama." Like, I don't see that. I don't hear that.
Maury, like Jerry Springer.
More,
I think they may use that term.
Maybe. So maybe it's more like a cultural. When I mean that, it's also like where you come from, like what kind of money you got, what kind of education you got. Like, I feel like that word's in certain circles, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and I know I've used that word in certain times, but I would never call. Maybe I would never call my daughter's mother or baby mama to her face. I mean, maybe I did it behind her back. I don't know. I have to think about that.
Probably
But,
in a
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Derogatory. It's faster to get the mother of my child. Like that's a lot of syllables and words. Where you say baby mama, you just kind of put it all together.
Yeah.
Matthew Green has a very interesting comment. He says, "I know someone who has a baby mama that has a felony for trafficking."
So double dipping there, man. Okay,
that's
she's really
extra everything. But hopefully, the co-parenting situation is ideal or at least healthy. In fact, like you're saying about felony, I guess in my head, I'm not saying felonies are all bad, but some are really bad.
Yes.
Right? A man that's had a felony for aggravated assault.
Yeah.
Is that better than a man, than a man with maybe not the best situation with his co-parenting? And also, I think if you are dating someone and they have a bad co-parenting situation, I would think that's a red flag for reasons of why you can't get along with this person. Yeah. You got to a point where you were able to produce a offspring, and if you're still going back and forth with this person that you were very intimate with at one point in time, how does that look for future relationships?
Yeah, that's a great point.
So if you talk, it's kind of similar when you have an interview for a job. You interview, I'm sure you interview the people. I've interviewed people, and they talk all types of crap about their old job, about their old bosses,
Huge red flag. Huge
you
red
do
flag.
not hire that person. Even if what they say is 100% true. It could be, right? We all had bad situations working, but you don't do that. You don't bring any negativity about that old job. You just bring what you learn there.
Yes.
You
You don't
learn
talk about that at a job interview. Even if you get to the third interview, like that's just not how it's not good.
You don't like that. Any manager
No.
does like,
No.
that's even if you could be 100% right and all that happened to you, we do not want to hear it. We hire you, do well, and then while we all hanging out at lunch, and you say, "Yeah, my old job sucked." I'm like, "Yeah, man, good thing you're here now, right?" But I think that's where it is. So I don't know. I was very surprised, but as I'm talking more about it, yeah, obviously it depends on both situations. Depend on the situation, right? Like it depends on the situation, not just one better than other. Even though, like I said, my wife rather deal with a man with a felony. So
that's interesting. You should ask her that question in like a couple years and see if you get a different answer.
I think it's she don't want to deal with anybody else's kids. She'd rather deal with like
she wants Hannibal all to herself.
Yeah, she's like, listen, you could have knocked someone out or robbed the bank, but good thing you're not bringing another child and try to make this all work. It's complicated, and co-parenting is a very interesting thing, and they can kind of goes in different situation of should well, it's me and you, we're both men, right? Should you date someone who has children? I believe you have, right? Long-term situation.
Yeah, well, yes. I've definitely dated women that had kids. I never thought that was like I was always fine with that because I had a daughter of my own, So
Right.
for the longest time, my daughter, between the ages of when she was like, I don't know, 2 and like, well, just recently, I guess I'm still, me and my current girl aren't married, but yeah, I would totally date somebody that had kids. I've had I had one relationship that was pretty serious, and she had a son that was about the same age as my daughter at the time. They were like 8 or 9 at the time, and they got along, and like it was, yeah. I mean, I have no. If I like you, I like you. If you got a whole bunch of kids and like a whole bunch of different baby daddies, I don't roll like that necessarily. Right. But like, if I like you, I like you. So,
if you go deep in the YouTube rabbit hole, especially a lot of male group red pills, they call it, the Kevin Samuels type of YouTube. A lot of them preach very, very strongly to not date any single mothers. Don't ever do it. It's a bad thing. It's going to only turn out negative things. And it's a very big thing. Just type it up. Modern women, type single women. Is very, very, very like it's kind of like a religious to a point.
Yeah,
I think thou shalt not date single mothers, right?
That's absurd. I think that's absurd. I think to me that's just it's ignorant. To me, that's just I don't understand that.
Well, I think my stepfather passed away a long time ago, but he came in our lives when I was in my teenage stage. And I will be honest, I gave him a lot of crap. I didn't want him around. I gave him a lot of issues.
Was it justified, or was that on you just being a knucklehead teenager?
I mean, I'm immature, young kid, kind of stupid. I mean, he wasn't necessarily the most like cuddly guy, right? So he didn't like come in with the, that wasn't his personality. But as an older, mature person, I realized that, you kind of act like you act like a dumbass. But that's one of the problems of being someone that kind of jumps in. And I'm talking about like this ain't date. Like you should be able to date anybody, obviously, and then you realize what's working out. Now, strong commitment, that's a lot. And I would say if you are a younger man, still maturing, should you put yourself in this situation? Can you handle this situation of dating someone with another child when you don't have any kids, or you're still growing? Obviously, because now we're in our 20s, early 10s. We're stupid. I mean, I know I was an idiot.
Dude, I'm 40. I'm still stupid. What are you talking about?
Well, so I would say,
still learning every day.
As a young man, now should it be like, well, don't ever? Now I would say never ever for anything, but
sure, yeah.
If you are still getting your stuff together, I would have some caution.
You're talking more. You're like you're kind of talking like what situation is more ideal statistically.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're. You know what I'm saying? But listen, all that gets thrown out the window for Hannibal. I'm sure if she's got a nice She looks a certain way. She got a
No.
big old booty. Handles. I don't care. She's got 5 kids.
I mean, listen,
So
in my
I think
early
there's a lot
20s,
of other
yes,
factors there. You know what I'm
those
saying?
are situations that could be difficult, right? But when you're in your 30s or 40s, and they still preach this, like, I don't care how old you get, don't date. I'm like, first of all, if you're in your 30s or 40s, most people have a child. So either, what are you talking about? But yes, I would when I was younger. But kind of like that idea we always talk about being athletes, lots of money, stupid decisions they make when they're younger. Is like, man, if I would talk to someone that was a little younger in their 20s, I would say, listen, that's a lot to get yourself into. Don't jump into it haphazardly because of how big the booty is. Like, this is a commitment. Can you handle this? Are you mature enough? What happens if you tell that child that's not yours something and they give you the, you're not my dad?
Yeah. No,
Takes a
you're
lot of
right. I
maturity to
mean,
handle.
it's hard to date when you got kids, especially when they're younger, because then it's like, when do they meet the other? Is there's just a lot. But for me, I always thought like, and I look back thinking like, well, I'd be a hypocrite if I'm like not wanting to date a mom because she's a single mom. I'm a single dad, right? So it's like, how can I, you know what I'm saying? Like that just like it, that would be wrong for me. But
Yeah.
I understand if it's like, young man, you ain't got no kids, you're trying to find the one that's really going to work for you and what you want. Maybe you want a family of your own, and then she's got kids already. And like, it makes it more difficult for sure. But I mean, if I like you, I like you. If you look good, if I'm attracted to you, if we're vibing, if you got a kid, I'm good with it. So.
Gotcha. And Matthew Green just put it out. He said, don't date crazy. I mean, don't date. Yeah. I mean, crazy anybody. But I think when you bring more, when you have a being there, another living being, it makes things more difficult, less time because they're busy with the child. So there's a lot of, like you said, what's ideal, what's not ideal, and what works for that person. And I'm talking to, let's just saw some comments from Rideshare Rodeo. The blended family, or especially when you get to a certain age where a lot of the kids are getting older. I mean, at that point, you're good to go. As long as the person's a good person, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But and Nova Dash, if she got a kid, it's cool. I mean, as long as it's all
Nova's,
good.
Nova's in the same spot.
Now, if you hanging out with, trying to get to know homegirl, and you go to a crib and she's like beating the crap out of her kid, that's a bet. You know what I mean? But just sit there like, what's going on? Is she using the kid like a football? All right, hey. I mean, I don't care how big the booty is. Like, I don't know if I bring my son over for a play date, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, you see how they take care of, like you said, baby father situation.
Yeah.
Is he cool? Does he give you a side eye every time you come through the crib? It's like, I don't want that. Yeah, I would not feel too comfortable in that situation. But it all really depends on the people, obviously. Let me before we jump into it, let me say I actually got my stuff together. So, actually, it was a good comment right here. I want to appreciate both of you, mainly praise Joe for taking the time to wanted to pronounce my name.
It's important to me.
We appreciate it. It takes a long time. I mean, I've had issues people mispronouncing my name until the movies came out, and then Hannibal Buress came out, and then it was a little easier. Like, so people still mispronounce it, sometimes misspell it. My son's name is Matthias. I thought that was an easy name to pronounce.
That's an awesome name, man.
And people will call Matthias, and he will correct them immediately, which is important because your name is really important. So
I'm just really bad at pronouncing names. I'm really awful at it, and I've always been that bad. I'm really good at I'm really bad at remembering people's names in general, but like, I'll never forget like a face if I see you in person. I can see somebody 10 years ago or something at a restaurant, and I'll still recognize that person. But names and stuff, I'm like really awful about it. So.
Well, this is a good transition to NBA phenom.
Yes.
Well, no, potential NBA phenom. Now, I think it's pronounced Wembanyama. Victor.
Listen, I can't even. I just started pronouncing Giannis at Tempacook, whatever. So I can't get.
We're trying to be broadcast professionals. We gotta pronounce names, man, because it's not going to work.
Let's call him Victor, man. Right now, I feel like his nickname's the Alien. A lot of people are calling him an alien.
So let me see if I can do this while we're talking. So. Okay, so we get talking. So this 7'4" dude from France, all the NBA future Hall of Famers are talking about this kid.
Yeah.
Giannis, he was
he's
like,
got KD's moves, but he's taller than KD.
he's what someone said. I think it was Stephen A. that said
That's a
he's a
pull-up
poor
three-point
man
shot.
KD. Being a poor man KD makes you a Hall of Famer, right? His height.
Yes. It makes you a Hall of Famer, and it makes you worth about $200 million at least.
He's probably going to the way the
No, I'm saying just if you're just a poor man's KD.
This is Wilt Chamberlain, but Wilt Chamberlain didn't shoot Jays from. He didn't do this.
Yeah,
he didn't. Yeah, he did the defense stuff. He wasn't dribbling and popping up from whatever. Like this is all. And the cool thing about it is, so many NBA players are like excited to talk about him. Like I saw, like it was Richard Jefferson. Kevin Durant was like, yeah, this guy doesn't. This is not how it. Like he's the future. This is the future. Giannis, like this is the future. Like. You know, Ghana said in 2040 something, everyone's gonna look like that. I'm like, no, not everyone is gonna look like that. That, like, I think what LeBron said, that's an alien.
Yes,
you're not supposed to be able to dribble.
No, it's smooth too, because usually the basketball's evolving, man. It used to be these big guys. There's been big guys this height, but they were always just rim protectors. Manute Bol and Sean Bradley and like all these big dudes that were lanky.
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing, Yao Ming, like they were rim protectors. They're not pulling up, hitting threes. They're not dribbling. Like this kid's got range. The NBA is changing, and I think we had to remember this kid. Let's say 5 years ago, I think he's 18 or 19. So 5 years ago, right he was probably 6'6", 6'7", but he probably likes Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Giannis, and these are the new, what I'm saying? And all these guys can shoot threes. They can do a multitude of things, especially somebody like Giannis. So I feel like the way these AAU teams, and even if he's, I think he's obviously from somewhere else, but
he plays in Europe where I think Giannis or I forgot. It was one of the European, like one of the overseas dudes that said it's harder to play in Europe than the NBA.
Yeah, Giannis said that. Luka Doncic has said it as well.
Luka. I think
what we're seeing right now, which I think is really awesome. There's always, there's been international players for 30 years plus, right? But now, if you look at the top guys in the league, if you look at the top 10, regardless of what order you have them in, half those dudes are not from America, which is cool. Like the world is like the globalization of basketball is really, the NBA has really done that right. How popular it is, and these kids are in other countries and they're learning how to play basketball, and they're coming in the NBA and they're being highly successful. Like it's amazing. I think this kid has a really good mixtape right now. It's one game. He dropped 37 points.
2 games.
Okay. Yeah.
Back-to-back 30-point games.
He's going to be something, but we haven't seen somebody this tall do this, but we have seen this before. Mm-hmm. The thing that makes it freakish is that he's 7'4". If he was 6'11", 6'10", we're not talking about him as much, but it's because he's so big and so tall.
He makes Rudy Gobert. Like he was tall, like much significantly taller than Rudy Gobert. And Rudy Gobert is over 7 feet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm all in. I'm excited. I'm like Richard Jefferson. He was hyped when he was talking about it. He was like, "Yo, this is crazy. This is scary." Like
it's crazy. So what if he goes in? I mean, what if the Knicks tank this year for him? He goes to New York.
That's the problem. The Knicks actually looks like a decent team. Son of a.
So my question is, right now, would you want the Knicks to make it into the playoffs and lose in the first or second round?
Tank.
Or would you rather them not make it, but you get him next year?
Of course. Tank right now. Lose all the games.
So why not?
This is a generational talent. Now, yes, he's really skinny, but he's not Chet Holmgren skinny. Chet Holmgren looked like a toothpick, and that's
Kevin Durant was skinny. Kevin Durant was skinny. He'll bulk up for 10, 15 pounds. You don't need to be Giannis. Giannis wasn't Giannis when he came into the league, so skinny doesn't matter. I don't think.
But Giannis you see him shirtless?
Now he's big. Yeah.
Listen, I'm a heterosexual male, but Giannis is like
he's literally a Greek god.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Durant is still a skinny guy, right? He's strong. He has some strength in him, but he's a skinny dude. I feel like this guy is going to be more of that Kevin Durant strength. But, Chet Holmgren, he fell, he stepped on a gumball and now he snapped his ankle. He's out for a year. This guy looks a little different, but he's 19. And I think what I like most about him, and I think Hector said he's going to OKC. Yeah, they're going to tank because they're the other first round pick is out for
They'll
the
have
year.
a
So
starting 5 that is like 6'7" and above if that happened. Like, everybody will be like over 6'7" on the
yeah,
OKC with all the guys they got
yeah,
if they
just a
get
bunch
paid.
of towers. I like him for what he's been saying. So people are saying, look, hey, everyone's talking a lot about you. You're your next great big thing. And he's like, that's all good, but that's not going to change anything. I haven't done anything yet. I haven't been
Yeah.
drafted in the NBA. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
that is level of maturity.
that's like some Giannis stuff right there.
That's that
He's
European,
ready. Yeah.
not that Western. I think I've earned it already. Shit that we got to deal with these kids in this
Yeah.
area. Where in Europe they have to earn stuff. It's not in their face in terms of all the material stuff. And yeah, I'm sure he has to deal with that. And hopefully, things may change. But he's saying all the right things at 19 years old. Where I
It's
was
crazy.
19 and couldn't complete a sentence. Now
It's
long. If
crazy,
someone's saying,
man.
yeah, you're gonna be a neck. LeBron's talking about you. I'm like, fuck yeah, they should be talking about I'm the best. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really liked his the way he handled himself with all of the interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah. I saw that he was coming off the LeBron and AD. I saw a little clip. They were sitting on the bench at a game, and the Victor kid walks by, and like LeBron sees him, gives him a little love, and AD
Yeah.
gives him a little. Can you imagine being 19 and you got these superstars showing you love? I mean, Steph Curry's talking about him, like Richard Jefferson. Like, it's amazing, man. You should be
I
proud of
don't know
yourself. It's awesome.
how I would handle it. Like,
Oh, I don't
how
think I couldn't. No, I
right?
couldn't handle it, and I'm 40. What are you talking about?
So REN had a question: is
Yes.
tanking a acceptable strategy? Now, as a strategy, is it acceptable? And you said yes.
I think in some cases it is. I think if you have like you're just talking a generational talent. Other teams have done it in football. I think I think so. With the Knicks, maybe not, only because they do have some players and they have a chance. I get that,
They
but
tried to tank for Zion. It didn't work.
it didn't. Yeah,
Right.
and with the NBA, it's not like worst record; it's a lottery, so it only gives you more little balls in the thing, right? It worked for the Knicks back when they got Ewing, and they knew they wanted Ewing, but it doesn't usually work, right? But if I'm an owner, if I'm putting my owner's hat on and I'm not a fan,
Yeah.
and like I gave you the scenario, do I want the Knicks? Would I rather the Knicks win 45 games, make the playoffs, and lose in the first round, or win 25 and get this kid? I'm taking the 25 and I'm taking the kid every day of the week.
Yeah. It's a complicated situation, especially if you did own a team.
I thought so.
Damn my phone. Especially if you are a season ticket holder and you paid already and you're watching your team get the beat, getting the snot kicked out of them every single game for 41 games.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling them, don't worry, because this off chance of a lottery ball, we're gonna get this kid. It's hard to accept, right? But
yeah,
us being such emotional fans, yeah, we all in if it makes sense. Like, hey, we have no shot. Like it said, OKC, probably Houston Rockets. Who else is terrible? Like who's
the Spurs will probably the Spurs are going to be really bad this year.
Yeah,
Apparently,
Spurs,
the analytics
Rockets. Detroit didn't look great at all. It was a
I know
preseason.
Detroit's got some young stars though. I think Detroit's going to make the playoffs, bro. The Pistons,
yeah.
Oh yeah,
they had
I
a
think
bad
so.
game. I was just wondering. I'm just saying, like, what are the teams that's looking to?
The Pacers might not. Pacers are, but I think the Spurs. OKC's young; they're not going to be good either. Plus, the Chet kid broke his foot or whatever, so he's out
for the
this
year.
year. Yeah, so
yeah, I know he's not going to the next. It's all right. I just want to see him play.
Yeah, it's fun to watch him play, man. Yeah.
The thing is that when I know you don't play a lot of video games, but when you play NBA 2K and you create a player and you max out his stats, when you go online, you see people 7 foot point guards. You're like, this is stupid. This is not realistic. This is a stupid video game. And then you go and I watched those 2 games he was in. And you see this in life. Like, this is not real.
It looks like a video game. Yeah.
It's like supposed to move. He's supposed to be a slow, lumbering guy. And I know he don't may necessarily look like the fastest dude, but no, there's some athleticism there.
Oh, when you're that tall, you don't have to be fast necessarily because your strides are making up so much ground. So it's really hard to defend somebody like that. You're not going to block his shot. He's going to shoot over everybody just like KD can.
He was
He's very
popping
fluid, popping threes, pull up threes, like
it was a
blocking
few.
shot.
Let me see if I don't know if it was on this clip that he shot a three like it was Curry level, like he was nowhere near the line.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's on this though.
And he's skinny, guys, but his body frame is still he's going to be okay. He's still going to grow. You add 15 pounds to that right there, which a good nutritionist he's going to be a beast, man.
Yeah, and he's playing against borderline professional players.
I mean, look at that right there. Go back. Can you go back just a little bit?
This thing is can I go back?
Oh, is it?
Let me see.
Because I used to. I don't do it as much. I still do with little kids, but I was coaching and I would do clinics and training for middle school age girls and some boys. This pull up three that you guys are going to see in a little bit, his footwork. I'll show you guys in a second. Hold on.
That one?
No, not this one. Right here. That pull up three and the fluidity of his jump shot and his release point, it's amazing to have that and be that tall. That right there showed me, and that one right there shows me a lot about his game. His moves are absolutely
the fact
amazing.
that he had a jump shot already.
And that move right there.
Just get a little stronger. Yeah. He already can be a great defender just by him just being smart, being at the right spot at the right time, and getting good coaching. Yeah. That's a problem too when you go tank for a bad team. Are you going to get the good, a great coach that's going to, push you?
He dominated this game. He dominated that game.
Yeah.
And he did it in more than just, like Shaquille O'Neal, like one of my favorite basketball players to watch. He was so physical and dominant, the most dominant NBA player, in my opinion. But he wasn't doing that. And he, you know what I'm saying? Like he was all paint. This kid looks like he could do it in both the paint and outside, which is really rare this time. Yeah. So,
and like you were saying, is an evolution where maybe if Shaq, he could never shoot anything, but maybe he was growing up and saw other tall men doing that. Maybe, but there's something wrong. I don't know what's wrong. I think it was his hands were too big, or it was something that he could never were able to shoot properly. Yeah. Like the free throws always were terrible. He kept changing the shot. It just never worked. But Hakeem Olajuwon, because he had a decent turnaround jumper. Like, he could jump. Patrick Ewing could take a shot and score every once in a while. So, but like I said, everything was back to the basket, post up game, be physical, because you're gonna get fouled, and most of those fouls are not going to get called. I mean, I think Shaq I think of all the players in NBA history, he's been fouled the most and not.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think with Shaq, you have to also remember that I'm sure he worked on these things, the free throws, but some people's bodies are different and your form is so important when you're shooting. And this kid, I'm sure he's been in the gym. He's putting up, if I had to guess, every day, at least 1,000 shots, man. That's how you get that form at that age. So he's crafted this skill. Yep. And Shaq just didn't do that because he didn't need to. He didn't need to, but Shaq had great footwork. For a big man, Shaq's footwork was crazy good. You look at old tapes of Shaq when he was with the Orlando Magic. He wasn't quite as big. He was running the fast breaks and he
was fast. Like he would beat people in like not necessarily back and forth on the court, like a slow run. But if you can catch him to the wall, like erase the wall, he would beat you. That's how fast.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely, yeah. But this kid looks crazy, man. I mean, there's a lot of hype around him, and I just hope he can stay healthy and he gets some good people around him, and he continues to add a little bit of weight to his body so he can sustain some of the physicality of the NBA, because it is very physical, and he could have a bright future, man. It's going to be interesting. The NBA's got a lot of young talent, man. It's going to be good to watch.
I think we're all a little bit excited, maybe too excited. But I'm excited. I was like, yo, this is crazy.
I had heard his name. I heard his name, but I didn't really see a lot of his film because he's over in Europe. And when I saw all this going on in the last, I guess, 5 or 6 days, I was like, this is crazy. So then I had to look up some old stuff, and he's legit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where he goes. Definitely won't go where I need him to go. It's fine as long as he's in NBA, bringing in that new talent. Like you said, new players are coming in, foreign players, which is interesting because I think when Dirk Nowitzki came in, we all thought this was going to happen. It had Dirk and Ginobili, and then that kind of didn't. Obviously, they always had some good foreign players, but now it seems like another generation of people who looked up to LeBron, because LeBron's such a popular player, one of the most popular people on earth. You see another crop of really great, hardworking, fundamentally sound European players like Luka. And I know they give him a lot of crap about his defense. Luka
Doncic is a beast. He's a beast.
If he could try to commit a little bit of defense, he'll be an overall fantastic player. Because I think that's the one issue, right? One issue, defense. He wants to score the ball. He's like, yo, hurry up with this.
He's fantastic because what Luka has is he's not super fast, but he's phenomenal with his body control. He's a big dude, and he's very shifty in his movements to get in to keep defenders off balance.
Yeah,
and he can do everything else offensively, shoot, assist. I mean, Luka's.
I like how he likes conflict.
Yeah,
when people are mad at him and he
embraces
I think he gets
it.
better. He gets that Reggie Miller kind of effect.
Well, he's been playing with the adults since he's 15 on the European teams and stuff. Like he was a child, a high school age, playing versus 30-year-old men. So this kid's been doing this for a long time at a high level. So he was ready for the NBA.
Hector says he'll be great on the Knicks. I would take any of these players on Knicks.
Any.
You got Brunson, so we good. $100 million for that. I don't know why. He's a nice player, and I don't know.
He's going to be solid, but he's not a main guy. He's a third option. But I think if the other guys on the team on the Knicks can help, he only needs to be a third. He can't be the number one guy, though. He's not that guy. He's just not.
No, not at all. But we're going to talk about something that may affect the team, basically the team who won the championship last year, Golden State Warriors. The Draymond versus Jordan Poole fight. Actually, it wasn't much of a fight. I'm going to show you guys. I mean, you guys may have already seen it. It was more of a sucker punch. Kind of, sort of. Hopefully the video I'm going to pop in, you guys can see it. And if you guys, obviously all the stuff in the audio piece, you got to look this up. But it's on TMZ. It's on, just type
everywhere.
in, Draymond fight. So let me say, and the quality is not that great because obviously
somebody leaked it.
Somebody leaked it, which is terrible people, but that's how
a
it
whole
works
nother issue there. Yeah.
So here we go. I think they'll point. So you see Jordan Poole's on the left. He pushes Draymond, and then Draymond sucker punches with a right. Let me see you show that again. Let me do it again. So you see Draymond walking up to Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole basically, he's like, hey, you in my face. Let me push you away. And then you see Draymond hit him with the left. And basically, it looks like he folded him after that, which was a punk move a little bit from Draymond. He has 40 pounds on him, right? Like, Jordan Poole is he's not big compared to him. And I think Jordan Poole probably thought that wasn't even going to happen. Like, he probably like, dude, literally hit me. Because he pushing. Pushing happens in basketball. You come into someone's face. Obviously, I think a lot of people think, from the rumors I've read, Jordan Poole is feeling himself because he's going to probably get a good contract soon. Who knows? But and Hector kind of, I think it was Nova Dasher, a really great comment. Yeah, Draymond is the vet here, multiple NBA champion. The heart and soul of the team, right? The defensive force. What are you doing? That you're gonna clock you in middle of practice out in the court? Like, this is not even a locker room. Like, you ain't wait to the locker room. What do you think about that situation?
There's a lot to unpack here. All right. I mean, Draymond's came out and apologized, and I think he's done the right thing in that regard. I saw a little 15 or 18-minute clip or whatever, a conference they had. I think Steve Kerr, the coaches, handle it really well. They're keeping it in-house. The first issue is that being leaked at all. Okay, so clearly they'll probably find out who did it. That person's fired because this is a taped practice, right? And coaching staff and players can watch back certain things. Okay, the first issue is it being leaked. That's, some people can say it's conspiracy. They don't want to pay Draymond Green. This is a way for them to get Draymond Green out of the Warriors. They want to pay these other guys like Kuminga and Poole and Wiseman. They don't have money for Green. Green wants a max contract. So some people think that's leaked for that reason. I don't know. I don't care.
Do you think Draymond is a max contract guy?
Absolutely not. No,
yeah.
I do not. This situations like this happen. I don't know if often's a bad word. Situations where Draymond's shit talking, Draymond's walk up to the guy chest to chest and Poole pushes him. That happens in every practice. It happens. I've been at hundreds of practices in basketball. It happens. Okay. Yeah. Now Draymond sucker punching. Well, I think it's a sucker punch because Jordan Poole's pushing a man off of him. That's not a really aggressive thing. That's a natural movement in sports. Okay. You go push somebody. You don't expect to get hit lunged and
No,
hit that
you
hard.
could. I mean, none of these men are fighters. Then none of these men
No,
are professionals or I don't know if
but
tough guys.
he
A
got
lot
him
of it.
good. I
So
mean, he got him good. If Draymond just pushes Jordan Peele back and they kind of wrestle, we're probably not hearing about this because that shit happens all the time in
right.
sports, like football practices. If you go watch the NFL tapes, like practices, you hear about all of it. It happens, right? But like the punch like that, I mean, your teammate, that's a little wild to me. And I think that the fact that it's leaked is the bigger issue for me. You know, I think Draymond and Jordan Poole, you could, you know, their relationship will probably never be the same. I know their lockers are right next to each other since Jordan Poole came into the league. He's taken Jordan Poole under his wing. Apparently, that's his guy, right? But like,
we can't put hands on another
you
man
can't
like
put
that.
hands on another. You can't. I mean, that's not, you know, and
Not
you know,
cool.
even if Jordan Poole is talking shit, like that's bad. You guys
You
are
you
professional
you.
athletes. Like
What's
that's
supposed to
part of the
happen is not
game, you know.
you know, kind of like the Will Smith thing. All right, you have a problem with the person. Let's take it into a more private area. Like, hey, we need to talk. Ignore them, play, practice, then pull them to the side later on, and maybe two things may happen. You guys resolve it, whatever the issue is, or you realize, hey, I was probably a little bit too amped up, too angry, and I may not even worry about it. It's like, all right, he was just
Yeah,
being, a little bit too much this practice, no big deal. We're
yeah.
going to we're trying to repeat. We got basically the same squad. We have,
Saying it have. I
we
mean,
didn't talk about Wiseman, but he looked pretty good too. He was hitting a three in some of the summer games. Like, we have a good team together. And I don't want to say it's a conspiracy, but why would you want Draymond now?
oh,
He's getting older.
Draymond would be a wanted man in certain teams because
He could
he
take
to
it.
me
I
he's the kind
mean,
of guy you put in and he could help. He can. He does a lot of things very well. His IQ is very high. He's a high motor guy. He is a leader of that. He's one of the leaders of that Warriors team. He's very active, talking on defense. If you ever watch these games, like he's the guy defensively putting pieces together. So he's a guy that you want on your team when it comes to X's and O's and execution of basketball, more so than you don't. But like, listen, we got to remember, I don't want to forget this. You know, Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr and bloodied his mouth and nose up. That's just a known thing. Like other athletes, way more bigger than Draymond Green, have done this same thing. But the fact that it was leaked is an issue for me. That's why it's like, why even have this go out there? Like, who's the person that decided to take that film and sell it to whoever they TMZ or ESPN or whoever?
okay. Well,
You know,
I'm with Quailaya. I think there is a deeper situation. Now, let's say that
could
you
be.
work for the organization. You're just a very minor person in the building. You videotape something, and then TMZ says, "Give us that tape. I'll give you $100K." What would you do? Because that's exactly what probably happened.
So
I don't know,
I'm a
100K was given.
videographer. I'm a videographer, probably making 60,000 a year out in San Francisco.
You love your job,
I love my
right?
job. Somebody wants to give me $100K
I don't know if
cash
100. Well,
money.
all right, let me be more conservative because I mean it's not like
TMZ might be paying 25,000 for that, something like
25,000.
that. Yeah,
One
nah,
quarter of your
no,
salary.
no, I'm not doing it. Nah, I'm not. I'm not.
Shit.
I'm not.
I'll say
To
right
get
now,
fired and then now I can't do my job in the
it
NBA.
wasn't me.
Well,
It wasn't
no,
me. I don't know who did that. I
yeah, I
wasn't
don't
even on
know.
that situation. I don't know. It wasn't me.
Could be
I didn't do it.
deeper. It could be who knows? We could talk about all kinds of things. Jordan Poole might have smashed one of his old ladies or something.
Maybe.
Who knows what
Listen,
happened,
I'm call
right?
me Shaggy. It wasn't me.
I mean,
No, I saw you with your no, it wasn't me. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I didn't do it.
so you got 25K, then you got fired. So you got to get another job. You're gonna get a job. I guess. I mean, you'll get a job somewhere, but it's probably not gonna be in the NBA.
Hopefully the person who is ridiculous or silly enough or careless enough that they have some backup plans or the ability to record and not get in trouble. Because now it's a whole investigation on it. And I understand fights happening because a lot of the NBA players talk about fist fights in the locker room. I feel like locker room is literally what you call it. It should be all the fighting should be in the locker room.
And sometimes you gotta have that. Like I've had friends like, you disagree, like, let's go outside for a minute, man. And then you do what you got to do and then you hug it out. Like that happens, especially in locker rooms.
Yeah.
It happens. I've seen it happen many times.
But I think it may not necessarily be a conspiracy. What happened if Draymond is becoming some people you get tired of them, right? You get tired of them. You're working with them for many years. They have great qualities that you are very important for your success as a team, but their personality gets to a point where it just wears on you. And then you give Draymond the ball and he shoots it, and he has the ugliest shot I've ever seen. The
It's
man
pretty.
can't shoot. So we
It's pretty nasty.
talk a lot about Ben Simmons and Westbrook. Draymond can't shoot at all. His shot is broken, right? And then one thing I give Draymond, he has no same thing with Westbrook. He will keep shooting.
Yeah.
Like no, and he'll brick, hit the front of the rim. Like so it's his value to a point where it's like, why are we dealing with you? I don't know. So if you're running the team, you're Steve Kerr, what are you doing to even get this to work?
Yeah, well, I think he's going to take some time away from the team. I don't know all the particulars. I mean, I'm going to fine him. It's got to be some kind of suspension or something. Take a certain amount of time away from the team, cool off, like something. I don't know. If I'm the franchise, is there a mediation? Do I need to get these guys in a room and just talk it out for a minute? Do we need to? Can we move past this and then somebody makes a decision based on how that conversation goes? Yes, we can. Do we need But these are competitive 1%ers. These are highly skilled individuals or NBA players. Draymond Green talks a lot of shit, right? Jordan Poole, I think, is a young, swaggy kind of guy, and that's cool.
I don't know.
Too.
Is he a trash talker, or he seems
I don't feel like he is, but I think he's,
I'm
sure he said some things. Draymond's just not going at this kid for nothing. He said, he probably said some stuff, but that's basketball. Like, that's basketball. Okay. Anybody that's played sports at all, like, you're talking crap on the football field, hockey, baseball, like, that's part of the competition. That's how you separate yourself sometimes. That's also sometimes how you get respect, right? Like, you have to give it back. You can't allow your teammates to think you're a sucker. Like, I'm here. I'm playing. I'm in the NBA. Draymond, I'm here. I'm here. So you're not going to talk to me like that. You're going to come up to me. I'm going to push you back. So Draymond was wrong for hitting him. I think the real person that's wrong is the person that leaked it. It could have been somebody that isn't a videographer. Maybe somebody was up in the bleachers and it's a friend.
I'm thinking, it could have been someone who's cleaning. If you're just cleaning, I guess you weren't necessarily going to go far in the job, the ladder of if you just pick up the towels. So even if they did offer you $25K, you get fired. Well, I got $25K. I'll just find another job where I can just chill out. I mean, it may not necessarily be a great idea long term, but $25K is $25K because TMZ will pay people 5 figures for nonsense this, right?
But I think it's like it's the same with the Duco case, Boston Celtics, right? Like, coaches and people that work for franchises, they're having sex with all kinds of people that work. Coworkers have sex with each other. It happens. There's that is very, very common, especially with these big businesses, and it happens, man. Affairs are rampant, okay, in any kind of line of work, right?
Yeah.
And in these fights, this shit happens. To me, the bigger issue is, why are these things being leaked? Is it so much that everybody just wants attention? They can say, I did it. They want a little bit of love. They want some $25K. They want
maybe.
Everybody is just so inundated with it,
Yeah,
because this
money
stuff happens,
will turn. I mean, people flip on anyone if enough money's involved.
Yeah,
or their own jobs could be affected, and it could be if someone don't like you. So it's always good to maintain professionalism, no matter what happens, because people can weaponize that and take you out, cancel you, whatever you want to call it. You got to be really, really, really on your P's and Q's. You don't want anyone to find a way to push you out.
Do you think that's happening with Draymond a little? Do you think the Warriors are trying to push him out?
I don't think. Well, it's possible because I don't think they want to give him a max contract. I think they're going to let him go. I think, yes, he still has some good qualities, but he does bring a lot of negative attention. He did push away Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant was height of his powers, where they probably should have repeated, had probably 2 or 3 or 4 championships, but he called Kevin Durant a bitch, and then kind of went downhill from there. And then obviously there was more stuff going on, but that started to break apart. It was like, if Draymond was more like Curry, Durant would have stayed on the team. So Is he going to push Jordan now, where Jordan is an up and coming, really good player, or we keep bringing in Draymond with his nonsense onto the team? Because yes, he's the pit bull. He's going to talk. He's going to take all that negative energy, turn into positive. Can't shoot, but whatever. How long do you wear out your own welcome with the team?
Yeah.
So I think so.
That's a good point. And he's not. I mean, if I'm the Warriors, especially now, I ain't paying you a max contract. Forget that. I got 3 other guys. Yeah, I got 3 other guys that are way younger that I need to try to. I'd like to keep Kuminga, Wiseman, Poole. Right. I need to keep these guys. Right. So that's a nucleus. That's Draymond Green. I think they need him for a lot of reasons, though. I don't want to undervalue just because he can't shoot. Like, defensively, he's really good. Yeah. He is a leader. He's a vocal leader. And on a basketball
court, he's really
court,
coaching the defense.
Yes, on a basketball court, you got to have that. Steph Curry leads by example, by action, by his play, but he ain't a vocal dude. Klay Thompson, I don't even think I've seen him say a word on the basketball court. Maybe he hits a 3 and he's like, yeah, I'm good. You need a guy. Every team needs a guy that's actually – that pit bull, like the guy that's going to stand up to LeBron, stand up to a Giannis. The other dudes on that team ain't that guy. So when you take him off that Warriors team, they look very different. Now, do I think he needs a big money? No, but the Warriors ain't winning these games without Draymond Green. I will say that.
Do you think this situation will affect this team? Do you think? I don't know if we actually went with predictions. I think I did. I said the Nets are going to win championship.
Yeah.
Noah Dasher continues to hate. He says KD is soft, though. Let's not forget that. No one said we needed to remember anything about KD. All right.
Yep.
Noah Dasher's hating. So I'm biased. I think the Nets are going to win. I forgot. Did you pick? Did you have a?
I don't think I had.
Are you ready to have that discussion? Because you said the Lakers last year, and that
I did, and
flopped so bad.
They had injuries, and even if they won it this year, I wouldn't be surprised if AD's healthy. AD had a phenomenal game. He had 24 points in the first half yesterday.
Yeah.
But they're old, right? So that's NBA seasons are very long. Playoffs are very long series, so they got to be healthy.
Somebody said the Pelicans may have more wins than
Pelicans.
the Lakers.
Look, if Zion is a wild card, man, if he's dangerous. When he was healthy for that full year, he was a 25-12 and defensively really good. If he could stay healthy, they're tough. The Memphis Grizzlies, I mean, we can't forget about them. They had a really good year last year, and then Morant got hurt towards the end. They they won a couple games against the Warriors, right? And Morant wasn't. They made it very interesting. They're very young. They got a lot of swag, a lot of confidence, and they're getting better. Jaren Jackson's on that team. They got a lot of good players. I always like the Bucks because I think Giannis is the best player in basketball. The Mavericks, if they could figure out, if they can get some more pieces around Luka, those are a few teams that I think about. Miami is going to be strong again, but I'm not the Nets. I could see Simmons is going to have to do something, but they just got 3 guys that are too.
Hector says trade Simmons for Draymond straight up. Why on earth? Well, first of all, Kevin Durant going to want to play with Draymond.
Listen, hold on. I'm going to say this right now. That trade would be a fantastic trade for the Brooklyn Nets. You're tripping, bro. Listen,
absolutely not. Kevin Durant does not want to play with Draymond Green.
No, but they need a dog.
That's the first problem.
Draymond's a dog, man. He's a guy that's gonna. They both can't shoot, so that's fine, right? Draymond Green defensively and Ben Simmons are about equal, and I think Draymond
younger.
He's younger.
Younger. Will allow KD and Kyrie to be leaders. I don't know. Draymond's gonna come in. He's gonna want to be a leader. Like, hey, you guys ain't crap. You guys ain't shit. Let me, no. Absolutely not.
That trade's coming on ESPN breaking news tomorrow. Watch.
Yeah, KD would veto that. I'm sure. I don't know. I think KD is losing power. Like, for him to say trade me, and they were like, no. He's like, no, trade me. Like, no, we're not doing that. Hey, all right, then fire the coach and the GM. And Owen was like, no. You got 4 years. You're gonna play. And KD was like, all right. Like that was.
I think KD's. I don't even know if I don't know, man. I feel like he's just so weird, man. To me, I don't know. I feel like he cares, but he don't care. He's just so different, which isn't bad. But they need, and Kyrie's. We all know he's different. Those guys lead in different ways. Like
flat Earth, baby. We're gonna flat Earth, baby. Doesn't matter. It don't matter how weird or odd these men are. These are the best basketball players in the world. We got 6'11" defensive phenom called Ben Simmons. That shooting is not a big deal to him. He's
You love
allergic
Ben
to it.
Simmons.
No
You
problem.
love Ben Simmons. I feel like you have a man crush on Ben Simmons.
Oh, because he's light skinned and good looking. Who cares? I mean, he dressed like a clown. His dress, I don't. He's that young people
All
with
these
their
guys
style.
dress like
I don't get
clowns.
it. Yeah, the whole Russell Westbrook. 1 minute he's wearing a kilt. He has stockings on. I don't know what's going on. Hey,
it's weird.
That's what's going on. Like that's we're getting older now, so their style doesn't make any sense. But you didn't say who's going to win the championship. You didn't have a pick. Just say the Lakers. It's okay. Well,
no, I'm not going to say the Lakers, man. I'm not a Lake. I know I got the LA hat on. I'm from Chicago, y'all. Okay, this is okay. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a Lakers fan. Oh man. I'm gonna say the Bucks, man. I'm gonna say the Bucks. I think Giannis is man. I'm gonna say the Bucks versus the Mavs. Those are my two picks to make it to the finals. But Dallas versus Milwaukee. I think Luka takes a step.
If Middleton was healthy, things would be a little easier for him. But is Middleton getting a little fragile? He's getting hurt often, or there's a one-time thing?
I don't feel like that's an often deal.
Yeah, no. He definitely needs him there. Yeah, and Brooklyn Nets look really, really weird when the Celtics just swept them as much. But I think the Celtics thing, that the coach being let go, I think that's going to affect them. I think a lot of people are looking at like, why is he being punished for so harshly?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not harshly. Maybe they're also saying there's rumors that there's a little bit more to the story. Maybe he was being a little bit, who knows, right? But I think they didn't like it. I think that Jaylen Brown ain't feeling the fact they were trying to trade him. Yeah, they added some pieces. I don't know if the Celtics are going to be as strong as they were before. I don't think they're going to make it to the finals again. So you got the Miami, you got the Bucks.
I think it's I could see the Warriors repeating. I honestly, there are some times when things like this happen to teams, it actually brings them closer. There are times because then it's like, okay, now it's us against the world. They think it's going to shamble us, blah 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 blah. Like it can unite teams a little bit. So I could see the Warriors. I mean, Steph Curry, man, he's coming off a phenomenal year, phenomenal playoffs. These young guys are going to get better. Wiggins, Poole, Kuminga. I mean, Kuminga and Wiseman, they didn't do much in the playoffs. These guys are going to get better. They're going to get more playing time. So the Warriors could be a really tough out in a 7-game series. So, but I'm going to go Mavs and Bucks. That's my finals prediction. So
yeah. So yeah, Lakers, like you said, too often. If AD can be healthy,
yeah,
that's the key. He's the man on the team now. And Bron, if they can load manage him, but one team we did not talk about, the Clippers. John Wall looked pretty good. Yeah. You got that guy and Andy.
Have you seen him, bro? He's gained some weight. He's huge.
He looks like Lamar Jackson. I don't know.
Not in a bad way. He's just stout, man. Like it's crazy.
You know what? I guess that may be a bad thing. You don't want to put too much weight on the frame. You're playing basketball. You're not playing football. You don't need to be so. But
yeah,
hopefully he strengthens himself. But what happens to Clippers? Paul George. No,
they're the Clippers, man. It's kind of
like first of all, Clippers were doing pretty well for a minute, and then they just never were able to beat the Warriors.
Yeah, but they've never made it to a championship in my life. They're the Clippers. I think they're still.
So the Clippers, no chance.
I mean, they got a chance, but I don't see it.
Not a favorite.
For me, no.
And then
there's too many
what's the other
marks.
Team? Phoenix Suns. No one talking about
Suns.
that.
Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul's getting a little older. I like Devin Booker but they had their shot. I don't feel like. I think the West is kind of loaded. Memphis and the Mavs and the Lakers if they're healthy. We haven't talked about Denver Nuggets, 2-time back-to-back MVP, the Joker, getting Michael Porter back and the guard Jamal Murray. Like that team could do a lot. 2 years ago, they had the best record in NBA. So the West is loaded up. So I think the Clippers are down the list for me on the West. So
at least a playoff team, I'm assuming at this point. Depends on how well John Wall. And John Wall did look pretty good. 20 points. Looked pretty fast to me. He basically had a whole year of sitting down. I saw a few interviews. He went through a lot of mental health issues, people passing away. A lot of times we just think it's all basketball. And I think some players are able to not forget it, but remove that from their heads to play ball. Like I always thought about Kobe and all the stuff he was going through. Like the dude was going to court for very crazy, disgusting crime, right? But he will have to deal with that, lose sponsorships, right? And then go to court and still drop 30 again a night. Like that's how his brain worked. Probably also he probably thought he was not guilty of it. So that probably helps too, right? But still, even
and he
if
had a wife
people,
and kids at home too.
yeah,
You know,
gotta
so
deal
you
with
don't even
that.
talk about the family stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean,
And he, you know, as you could tell, like him, Jordan, they have this brain that just
it's different, man. It's
it
different.
it's weird because it's like you may not be a good person, right? It doesn't help you being like a good overall guy. Like I think LeBron's seems like a good guy. Like you would want to hang out with LeBron. I don't know if you want to hang out with Jordan, right? Like he, or
Probably
maybe
not.
Kobe, but they're just because they're so type A focused. Like I'm going to play ball and I don't care what's happening around me. So some people have that. I hope that kid gets it. Victor. Soon he'll be so good we'll be able to pronounce his name.
We'll have to
We're
look
going
it
to
up.
hear so many often. He's like,
Yeah, he really, you know, his makeup, it just reminds me of like a Giannis, man. He really, you know, he just basketball.
yeah.
He's gonna say the right things. You know, he's got, you know, he's from Europe. It's like he's gonna be interesting to watch, man. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll definitely see. So guys, appreciate you guys even being here on a Monday. I know it's a little different day. We're going to be back Wednesday, regular time. And no, we promised something a couple of shows ago about the mental, not well, yeah, the mental health and the crisis with men and boys. We're going to do that episode on Wednesday. So I'm gonna bring up some clips. We're gonna really dive into this situation because I think a lot of people are still not taking it seriously. I think it's still this weird kind of thing where if to talk about men, that means you're not talking, you're disrespecting women. No. It's all we all together, right? Men, women, we're all together. And if there's an issue where men are getting left behind, boys are dealing with a lot of problems, then we need to talk about it. So we definitely gonna have like a deep conversation on Wednesday, and obviously talk about the other stuff that's going on in our world. We gotta get back into rap and hip hop stuff. We haven't talked about that in a while. But before we bounce, are you listening to anything new? Is there anything you want to tell people to check out?
I have not been listening to anything new at all the last week or week and a half. Been listening to the same old, same old. I heard that Kanye dropped some songs on YouTube or something. I don't know how true that is, but he had diss track talking about like Drake and Future and some
I've
people.
been listening to Kanye for spite. Just listening to it, blasting. Or Yeezus is an album that I beginning to appreciate. I remember when it came out, I wasn't a big fan.
People hated it, man. People hated it.
I started to appreciate. I don't know what
that's the album that's got Black Skinhead in it, right?
Yeah,
and it's got there's some songs on
some
that
of the
album.
lyrics are making, you know, I don't know. I appreciate that album. Sometimes it takes a while to kind of enjoy it. It's still not my favorite album. I was just playing Blast That and for spite. But the recommendation I have, you know, Denzel Curry.
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, I do.
His last album is really, 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 really good.
Okay.
Very, very good. It's called Melt My Eyes, See Your Future.
Okay.
If you like Joey Badass, I would say if you like J. Cole, you're gonna like him.
Okay,
young dude. I think he's 30 years old. I feel like he's been here forever.
Okay.
Really, really good album. All the songs are good. Walking is like that's like the hit single right now. Put that on in the gym. Put that on when you gotta do something important. That song pumps me up. It's just talking about going through it, and you just gotta keep walking. And I love the music video that came out with it as well. Kind of has like a Western vibe to it.
Really?
But yeah, real big fan of that album. Denzel Curry. He's been in the game for a long time. Been doing pretty well. Like I don't know if he's signed like to a major level, but label, but he puts out really good consistent.
Is he from? Is he East Coast or is he South? Where's he from? I can't remember.
I think he's from Miami, actually.
Is he from Miami? Okay. Yeah.
He definitely has like a hairstyle that would be from
Miami. He's got like the crazy. Does he have like the crazy dreads or like the Kodak
not the
black?
Dreads, but he could kept it going, and he'll have that. Let me see where he's from. Yeah, Florida. Yeah, Miami. Okay. 27. Okay, 30. 27. 27. Young.
Florida. I feel like Florida is one place that like we forget about hip hop and like Florida hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have to think about a couple Florida hip hoppers, can you think of a couple?
Think of what top of my head is Kodak Black, and you know,
yeah.
It may not necessarily be the most skilled rapper. The guy can make verses. He can do hooks.
He can.
That's how his career is gone because of the hooks.
Yeah.
Trick Daddy.
Trick Daddy, Uncle Luke, Luther Campbell back in the day. Trick Daddy, Trick Daddy. I guess
you know what? They
Rick
gotta be
Ross is
more on
from
that.
Rick Ross is from
Rick
Miami,
Ross.
right?
Well, I'll tell you right now, he is. Well, if that's all we have in terms of our mind right now, Denzel Curry is the best rapper out of Florida. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Yeah,
literally can't. He ain't touch. Kodak Black can't touch him. Definitely Rick Ross, or whoever was writing for Rick Ross, because a lot of that
Rick
stuff
Ross
is
Rick Ross to me is just kind of like a showman. You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of like
businessman. He listen,
businessman.
all those lemon pepper chicken wings. You got the Wingstop franchises. He's doing pretty well for himself. But
for sure.
Yeah, definitely check out that album, guys. And yes, appreciate you guys. Hit up the like, share this with your friends. We'll be back on Wednesday.
Yes, sir.
Another great show, bro.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate y'all for coming in and come check. Yeah, Wednesday. It's going to be a deep conversation, but I think it's something that we need to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Definitely agree. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.